is just dying for me to go talk to Milady Briar over here, but guess what? It is not time to do that. What is up, YouTube? I'm your friendly neighborhood Endman64, and I'm bringing you the next episode of Pokemon Scarlet. In the last episode, we went to school. Guess what we're doing again? We're going back to school. Because apparently they wanted to shove these classes down our freaking throats. So yes, we're going back to school. By the way, I have a shit ton of quick balls now since we unlocked them, the ability to use it. And I got some from Mr. Jacques, so for getting 200 Pokemon in the Pokedex, so I'll take that and run with it. Hello, I hope everyone's ready to learn some new things today. But before we get going, do you all remember the final question from our midterm exam? That was yesterday and I don't even remember. Well, Director Clavel found out about it somehow and I got yelled at. Whoops. Apparently he could tell I was hiding something just by looking at me. He must have noticed all the color flush right out of my face. Speaking of color, today I'd like to teach you about the colors as they pertain to Pokemon. Some Pokemon have slightly different coloration or patterning on their bodies based on their gender or individual differences. In very rare cases, a Pokemon may have wildly different coloration compared to others of the same species. We call these specimens shiny Pokemon. It is quite rare to cross paths with one. Does anyone here know the likelihood of finding a shiny Pokemon? 1 in 4,000. Wow, that's right. You have the makings of a Pokemon professor, Mikey. Oh, hell no, I don't. Shiny Pokemon appear at a rate of 1 in 4,000. Isn't that amazing? The probability of encountering one in the wild is the same as hatching one from an egg, too. Eggs from a pair of Pokemon raised around differing languages are a special case. There is a higher than average chance that a shiny Pokemon will hatch from these eggs, but we haven't been able to figure out why that is just yet. I've also heard rumors of a charm that increases your likelihood of finding shiny Pokemon when you have it in your bag. Can you believe that? This claim can't be scientifically verified, but it sure would be fun if it were true. Oops, there's the bell. Oh my god, Penny's in class. It's amazing. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention. You know, they could have just like not had any of them in class, because the only one who we know shows up to class regularly is Nimona, and that's just because she's she's a weeaboo. Oh, thank God. I was about to say, please, for the love of God. I can't do this. I can't do 3 class days in a row. I'm assuming the rest of them will unlock as we progress, as we get all the gym badges done and stuff. What's up, Miss Time? Did you make sure to review last class's material in order to stay sharp? I know it was a little difficult with all that talk of multiplication and percentages and the like, but today we'll be talking about percentages again and learn about probability. That may sound like we're going to have another difficult class, but did you know that all of you are already dealt with probability on a regular basis? Pokemon moves generally have a property called accuracy, which determines the probability that they will hit. The accuracy of Tackle is 100, or 100%. So if you were to use Tackle 100 times, you could expect it to hit all 100 times. The move Hypnosis, which puts Pokemon to sleep, has an accuracy of 60, or 60%. That means you could expect it to hit 60 times in 100 wet uses. To put that in another way, out of 100 uses, you could expect it to miss 40 times. Many of the truly powerful Pokemon moves often tend to have lower accuracy, you know. Except like, I don't know, Brave Bird, that's pretty good. Wild Charge, Flare Blitz, Wave Crash, whatever. So when you're deciding whether to go slow and steady with moves that are sure to hit, or hard and fast with stronger but less accurate moves, you're already studying probability. Let me see here. Perhaps Surf and Hydro Pump would be good examples for this discussion. Surf has a power of 90, its accuracy is 100, meaning you can expect it to hit every time. Hydro Pump's accuracy is only 80, but when it hits, its power is 110. So between Surf and Hydro Pump, which move would you want to use for yourselves? Oh god, am I about to get told I'm wrong about my opinion? Do I still have it up? No, I don't. I went to take a shower, that's why. Not midterms. I don't need midterm answers. What is wrong with you? Class answers. Thank you. Normally I just go for Surf. The guaranteed accuracy. I see it's slow and steady when the Pokemon with Surf can still take out some... Whatever. I'm not a turtle. Whatever. I may have made it sound like there was a correct answer here, but there's not. You're free to use any moves you wish. Factors like PP or number of targets hit may make some moves more suited to certain situations. However, trading accuracy for power or vice versa is purely a matter of preference. This serve versus Hydro Pump debate has been going on for quite some time. Personally, I'm more invested in debating Rock-type moves, Rock Slide and Stone Edge. Let me tell you, I could get really worked up about those moves, but oh my, there's the bell. What a shame. Next class will be the last of our time together to show up 100% ready to go. Alright, time for my favorite teacher, my favorite subject. The nerd subject. The super nerd subject, history. Oh my god, what that poor Psyduck. That poor Psyduck has a headache. Why are they making Psyduck work? Why are you making Psyduck work? So mean. Greetings, my little students. Whatever you did yesterday, it is now a part of history. Today we will continue to unravel the marvels that history has presented to us. I trust you all remember our lesson before the midterm exam concerning the great crater of Paldea and its interior, Area 0. This mysterious crater captured the imaginations of many, including the former Paldean Emperor. 200 years ago, a group of explorers claimed to have finally reached its depths. The name of the team that achieved this great feat was the Area 0 Expedition. The team is said to have been made up of Paldea's best and brightest. Skilled battlers, brilliant researchers, talented individuals of all kinds. Among the list of team members was the name of a man who was an author and a brilliant natural historian, Heath. I've never met a Heath in my life. I've heard of Heaths, but never met one. After returning from the expedition to Area 0, he used his literary talent to record the events of the expedition and publish them. Aha! Perfect timing to make eye contact, young Mikey. Let's see if you were paying attention. What was the name of the team that first made it to the deepest reaches of the Great Crater? The Expedition! Correct! To pick up on and remember a term, I simply slipped into the flow of the lecture. You really are quite the clever one. The correct name for this team was the Area 0 Expedition. The record of their activities written by the expedition member Heath can be found in the bookstores and the like even today. The record is known as the Scarlet Book. At the time, the entire region of Paldea was absolutely buzzing about Area 0. The Scarlet Book was so popular that practically everyone had a copy. However, the book itself was full of fantastical descriptions and illustrations of things that could never be thought of as real. The masses began to call Heath a liar. Even the truth of the expedition making it to the bottom of the crater was called into question. The Scarlet Book was condemned to the shelves of used bookstores or just another book of wild paranormal stories. There's a copy on one of the bookshelves on the ground floor of the entrance hall. Feel free to have a read if you're interested. Oh, is that the time already? I must have gotten swept up in filling your minds with knowledge. This ends today's lessons. We'll unravel more of history's enigmas together next time. Didn't Arvin have the book? I thought that chump Arvin had it. Or is that it? Oh, cool. Which section would I like to read? Holy crap, look at all these things I can read about it. Another time, history nerd. Another time. We've got more classes to take. Let's see. Languages. Oh, God, languages. Whatever. My dear friends, how are you all today? I hope you're doing marvelously well. It's time for another of Salvatore's language lessons. Are you ready? I have to wee. Actually, do have to go to the bathroom. I would expect no less from my excellent friends. Even your replies to my questions are excellent. Today, we will once again be focusing on listening. Go for it, my assistant Pikachu! As you may remember from our last class, the same Pokemon's cries may sound different depending on what it wants to say. Today, we will be learning more about the language used by Pokemon. If you would be so kind, Pikachu. Pika! That sounds a little bleak, doesn't it? Its voice seems a little lower pitched, too. What emotion do you suppose Pikachu was trying to convey just now? See, why was the other one so freaking... It was angry, but it's always smiling. Pikachu's always smiling! Like, what the hell is this bullcrap? That's correct, Mikey. Fantastic. When Pikachu says... It's expressing sadness. Kind of makes you want to cry, doesn't it? That's right. I had my little Pikachu cry as if it was crying. Funny joke, right? No, not at all. Get out of here. I will give the Pikachu a hug. It is my main, one of my mains in Smash, after all. Apparently, though, I'm only good with Sora when I fight people online. Like, really good with Sora. Like, obnoxiously good with Sora. But what to expect, Sora is my boy. And now, apropos of nothing, let me give you all one of my wise words of advice. If you hear one of your Pokemon making sad noises like this, you should treat them with even more kindness than usual. Well, you probably knew that, though. A piece of cake for you all, I'm sure. Of course, this goes for your classmates and others as well. Friends should support each other in times of sadness. I truly hope that you all can have smiles on your faces all the time, my friends. Our Pokémon next lesson, that is, will be our final lesson together. I hope you're ready for the climactic finale. I want to hug Pikachu. That's all I want. Alright. So, with my girl Dendra, I don't even need to look at the cheat sheet. Because I know Dendra. Me and Dendra go way back. Actually, in Violet, I think hers is the only class I ever completed through to completion. Simply because, I don't know, I was in the mood. I think they had just announced the rumored DLC, and I was like, oh, I want to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I'm like, I can't do anything with it. Whatever. Let's get right to it. I hope you gave auto battles a shot like we talked about last class. I've been doing it for like the entire game, Dendra. Making good use of auto battles will let you train up a bunch of different Pokemon. It's also an efficient way to gather the Pokemon materials you need to make TMs at TM machines. Speaking of which, have you all been using the TM machines? I can't because I need all the freaking materials, and I only get materials from that red-haired bitch. No, I love Penny. I sure hope so, because it's pop quiz time. To create TMs, you need Pokemon materials and one other thing. Anyone remember what that is? In a normal game, it would be money. You would never need HP, so we'll go LP. Looks like you're already a TM machine pro, new kid. Why is she the only one who calls me new kid? Everyone else calls me by my name. Does Dendra just not care? That makes me love her even more. The correct answer is League Points, or LP for short. You can give LP and Pokemon materials to a TM machine to create TMs, but that's not all. You can also exchange Pokemon materials at a TM machine to get LP. I recently heard about some shady individuals getting LP illegally using a technique called hacking, or something like that. I don't want any of you getting involved in bad stuff like that. Got it? Anywho, you can also add TMs that you want to make to your watch list. This will let you keep an eye on the materials you need to gather. In conclusion, in order to make TMs, you need Pokemon materials, and if you get a hold of lots of materials, you'll have to battle all kinds of Pokemon. Oh man, I was just about to suggest we do some hands-on practice to really drive the point home, but I guess we're never gonna have the time. Class is over for now. Take care, you little rascals. Alright. Time for art so I can get screamed at by Brashus again. Then again, I can't say I ever had a bad art class. 6th grade was probably my least favorite art class, and that's just because the teacher was like 96 years old. And my sister had her like 5 years earlier as an actual elementary school teacher. Oh my god, it's Chad! What is Chad doing in here? Chad Arvin. Hello class, it is I, Hassel, yet again. First, allow me to apologize for losing my composure during our last class. I was so touched by Brash's story that I simply couldn't contain my emotions. I'm sorry for making such a scene. I certainly got a very stern talking to from Miss Time after that class, yes. Anyway, let us shift gears and dive into the material for today's class. Now, have any of you heard of the 10 sites of Paldea? As the name would imply, there are 10 sites in Paldea that are considered particularly beautiful. Among them, I would say that the Grand Olive Orchard is likely the most accessible. You can see field after field of olive trees from the hill on the way to Cortando. 2 waterfalls are counted among these 10 sites, Fury Falls and Casaroya Falls. Then there's a peak of Glacido Mountain, known as Paldea's highest peak. There's another cliff on Glacido Mountain that's named after its rather unique shape. So let me ask you, my students, what is the name of this 3-pronged cliff on Glacido Mountain? No need to grasp at straws. Glacido's Grasp. Excellent, it looks like a hand taking hold of something, doesn't it, Mikey? The 3-pronged cliff on Glacido Mountain is in fact known as Glacido's Grasp. Or Glaciado, I don't know. Though its shape is far too stubby to be that of a human hand, I imagine someone thought it looked like a Pokémon hand grabbing something. There's also the mountains in Area 3 of the East Province, where you can get a good look at Levincia. It's particularly gorgeous at night. In fact, the view is so brilliant it is known as the Million-Volt Skyline. I hear it's quite a hotspot for dates, and deservedly so for having such a romantic view. Can I take my Queen Sada there? I don't know. I imagine it's, what do the kids say these days, a very fleek selfie spot? We use an F word, but that's not the word we use. God, why am I thinking myself, I'm a kid? You're freaking 29 years old, Michael. I don't care if you're going to Disney World in a few months. I don't care. You're not a kid. Of course, you may feel like not all 10 sites live up to their grandiose names. How often do we visit some tourist spot only to be disappointed? Not to say that you shouldn't visit them, only that you should keep your hopes in check. The important thing is that you go to yourself and see them with your own 2 eyes. And sometimes a disappointing experience can be worthwhile in its own way. Take a chance. Well, that's it for today, class. Thank you for your attention. Alright. Gotta talk to Kaiser Permanente now. Alright, one last class, home ec. I'm actually going to see if we can gain any of the friendship things, because I did a bunch of them when we were off screen before I took my shower. I'm curious to see if we can get any more. I doubt it, but hey. What's up, Kaiser? Put away your phones, it is time to begin class. While you're out performing fieldwork with one of your Pokemon walking alongside you, have you ever noticed changes in its coloration? Now, I don't mean that it suddenly becomes a shiny Pokemon or any nonsense like that. I'm speaking of it becoming filthy! Pokemon battle. They get hurt by moves used against them. They get battered by wind and rain. They get covered in sand and mud. They get, in a word, filthy! I have seen many a trainer walking about with their adorable little Pokemon without addressing this issue. It is deplorable! Let me ask this question of someone who I am sure would not tolerate such shameful conduct. Ah yes, Master Mikey. What should you do if your Pokemon is dirty? Pat it on the head. That's actually what I would do. I would just hug it and snuggle it and call him Paul. Clean it. Perfectly correct. I knew I could count on you to provide me with such an answer. When your Pokemon are dirty, clean them. This is, of course, simply common sense. While you are having a picnic, you can approach the Pokemon on your team and perform a variety of actions. One such action is putting them through what I call the Pokemon wash. In other words, you are able to clean them up. You start by getting your sponge lathered up with soapy bubbles as you gently and carefully scrub your Pokemon. Once your Pokemon is nice and covered in soapy bubbles, the bubbles will encapsulate the filth, then you simply wash it away with a spray of water. This will get your Pokemon clean and shining bright as a Terra-Jewel. It is certainly quite a bit of work, but this will also restore HP and cure status conditions. However, some Pokemon may have parts of their bodies that they don't want scrubbed or that they would rather not get wet. Be sure to keep this in mind when cleaning your Pokemon. Now, the most important point that I must mention is that some Pokemon like to be dirty. Though I will contradict myself by saying this, please do remember that cleaning your Pokemon is not always the kind thing to do. That's why Garbodor is not in this game. Our time together has come to an end for today. I bid you all farewell. Alright, that covers all of the classes except for the last classes and the finals, which should be done not too long from now. Do we have any new friends? Nope, we did everything that we can do, which means we can finally leave this hellhole and keep ignoring Briar. So, I know this one was a bit of a quickie, but I really don't have much else to say at the moment since A, I have to go to the bathroom, and B, we're on to more exploring. So next time on Pokemon Scarlet, we're finally getting back out there. We only have 4 more places left to explore in Paldea, and look at this, I'm not even moving it. Don't you dare. We only have 4 places left to explore in Paldea. That would be Alfornada's Gym. Actually, 5. We have Alfornada's Gym. We have a Team Star base. We have the Glacedo Gym, the Titan, and the last of the Team Star bases in the east. We will be headed to Alfornada to take on the Psychic Gym next. Mostly so we don't have any problems catching Pokemon at Casseroya Lake because we'll be heading there after we beat the Fairy Star boss thing. I don't know. Until we meet again, my lovelies, sayonara.